according to Freeman Tilden, that actually happens that he is one of the founders of the U.S. National Park System that were created under the mission of interpretation. So all that I am a retired employee of the U.S. National Park Service System, so that's always going to be my focus because it's my experience. But all of us that have been part of the U.S. National Park System, we have to have learned and be trained and apply interpretation in our daily life in every aspect since we walk into the park until we close the park. That's our mission, and we proudly say that we believe in it. So according to Freeman Tilden, interpretation is communication, a communication process that creates emotional and intellectual connections. And that's a very important word, connections, between the audience and the resource. That emotional is subjective to every single person. I feel and my emotions are very personal. It could be of happiness for someone, it could be of sadness for other ones. That's why interpretation has to be sensitive to the theme of the resource. So interpretation is the link that connects people and places. As simple as that. You can go to a place and just be you and the place, but there are elements, there are actions, there are resources that create an element between you and the place. So a successful interpretation is the one that provokes, reveals new information in you, and allows visitors to relate to the resource. Either relate or reject. Everybody has right to it. There's no right and there's no wrong. The important thing here is that there's a reaction, there's a provocation, and the provocation can be in the positive sense to learn more about it. Okay. So interpretation of fortifications. ICOMOS, you all related and familiarized with ICOMOS, is the leading global voice in advocating for cultural heritage protection. The reason for this is because ICOMOS was established based on the mission that heritage values preserved through its authenticity, integrity, and sense of place or memory, however you want to call it, plays an important role in society, in people's life, in the sustainable development of communities through long-term tourism development, and as a result, it enhances the social well-being of communities, and many other tangible and intangible cultural aspects that we can mention, but I just want to keep it short here. So one of the tools of ICOMOS in building toward heritage protection is the development of doctrinal texts, charters, guidelines, and I will refer to one of them in this presentation today, the ICOMOS Guidelines on Fortifications and Military Heritage that was prepared by ICOFOR. ICOFOR is the International Scientific Committees on Fortifications and Military Heritage of ICOMOS. And that was adopted in the General Assembly of 2021. It took us a long time to prepare. It took us 10 years. That's a long time. That's a decade. We started in 2007 and we finished it in 2017 because it was so hard to agree in the interpretations of such resources that represents conflict and war, and how to be sensitive and how to identify those values. So it was presented officially by the final version that it was distributed among all the membership of ICOMOS, about 10,000 experts and also outsiders, and we had to collect all those comments, and it went through several revisions. So finally, 2017, we presented the final version and went through all the 3 General Assemblies until we finally got the final version of it approved. So this doctrinal text, along with serving as a guideline on the management, the conservation, the protection, and the interpretation of fortifications and military heritage, it also illustrates fortifications as a cultural heritage. It also illustrates fortifications as a cultural resource for addressing the Sustainable Development Goals and demonstrate the potential of harnessing fortified heritage in achieving sustainable development. So it's help, is an aid in supporting the sustainable development of communities. So all this, you can find it in the 2 websites. You can either go through it through ICOMOS website, or you can go directly to the ICOFOR website. And if you go into the ICOFOR website, this is what you're gonna see, and you browse to the bottom and to the left one here that is circled with a yellow, says adoption of ICOMOS guidelines on fortifications and military heritage. The name was changed in the last revision. So, the first question that we have to ask ourselves is, what about fortifications? Who built them and why they were built? Why we have fortifications? It's a very important, sad story. It also has positive elements at the same time, but it's part of human history. That's what's important here. From history to modern times, there will always have been fortifications. Even if you go to the Bible, you're going to find it there. The first 2 brothers, Cain and Abel, built a walled city to protect from each other. So from the beginning of the human being, there are fortifications. The fortifications have been a necessity for human communities to defend themselves. So that's a reality of the human being. Fortifications have also been integrated into the surrounding cultural landscape. And this is a very important element that I want to highlight, because a lot